Baby. How's everybody's how's everybody's 4th of July? How's everybody's 4th? You guys eat a lot. Put these glasses on now so I can start shouting y'all out. Mud respect, brother. Mud respect, brethren. Mud respect, brethren. Drinking my mushroom coffee. Mushroom coffee. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype behind mushroom coffee. And I get why. Because if you're ordering mushroom coffee, um, be weary to the vendors that are like, oh, we got 8 mushrooms, eight, we got like 8 mushrooms that are good for you that do this, this, and that. 2,000 milligrams of these mushrooms total. Well, if there's 8 of them, 2,000 divided by 8, I mean, how much of these mushrooms are you really getting into your system? You know what I mean? Because the idea is to have a certain amount of milligrams of these mushrooms in your body on a regular basis, kind of like at a base level. So once you've been drinking mushroom coffee, or adaptogens like that, or once you've been drinking the mushroom coffee for a while, I'd say about a month and a half in, if you're getting the right stuff, is when you start feeling the difference. Yeah, but most mushroom coffee, if it's cheap and affordable, it's a proprietary blend of poo-poo. So stay ways away from proprietary poo-poo. Proprietary blends. If you see proprietary blends, yeah, it's proprietary boo-boo. A boo-boo. You just want them to be more transparent, you know what I mean? You want them to say, hey, at the very least, the less mushrooms, when you see that 2,000 milligram threshold, the less mushrooms, the better, because you're getting more of each of those mushrooms. Reishi is somewhere in like the 1,000 to 1,500 milligram threshold for therapeutic effect for daily use. This one doesn't have reishi in it. It's Lucid mushroom superfood mushroom coffee. Lucid doesn't have it, but I also get, I'm the type of guy I'll just buy those like mushroom, I'll buy those fungi individually, you know what I mean? I'll buy the mushroom by itself. Like if that's the big banger, if Rishi's the big hitter, I'll buy that separately, add it to the, coffee or to my hot cocoa, my nighttime hot cocoa. Lucid has I like Lucid for this reason. And I'm sure there's other vendors that do the same thing. But they got 4 mushrooms at 2,000 milligrams a pop. You're getting 500 milligrams of each of those. Pretty solid dose. The caffeine content in here is not that high. So let's say you hit 2 cups of coffee. Now you're at the same amount of caffeine as a regular amount of coffee. From like a K cup, right? But you just put twice the amount of mushrooms now, adaptogens, into your body. So now you're looking at 800 milligrams of lion's mane, 800 milligrams of cordyceps, 800 milligrams of turkey tail. You know what I mean? Hey, how's it going? So you went from a proprietary blend of mushrooms that give you underdosed mushroom, quantity. You want what the clinical studies say. You don't want to buy a proprietary blend of mushrooms that are underdosed, especially if you're drinking it for longevity, especially if you're really into adaptogens and like what they could do for the body. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these companies will put like 7, 8 mushrooms and they'll say it's a total of 2,000 milligrams, right? So you divide 2,000 by 8 mushrooms, you're barely getting any of the adaptogens that you're looking for. So what I would say is look for a mushroom coffee that is way more transparent in their dosing, like with how much mushroom they're putting in their coffee blend. And then also, if they meet your threshold, if they're missing some, that's fine. You can go out, do your own research, and get the adaptogens that aren't in that mix and just add them. You know what I mean? And then now you got a superfood mushroom coffee. And again, since it's low in the caffeine content, you can have a few cups, and you're getting more of those adaptogens in. You're getting more of the benefit. What I like about Lucid is their nighttime hot cocoa. You can take more in of those adaptogens, and it has a nootropic stack, which is pretty awesome. It's like for the nervous system, pretty much getting your nervous system ready to go to sleep. De-winding and just trying to relax. And you had a rough day at work. Some people leave work and they're still stimulated, off of work. So the hot cocoa is a nice way to like de-wind, decompress, and get into that spot where it's like, all right, I'm cool. Work's work. It is what it is. I'm ready to chill. I think there's definitely is some truth though to these adaptogens. I mean, they're not for everybody. Everybody responds differently. So obviously, if you buy them and invest in it and don't see that they're doing what they claim to do, then maybe your body's just not responding the way that they should. But don't expect it to happen overnight. A lot of these things, they have to be in your system for a good 2 to 4 weeks before you start to notice the body's response to it. What up, bro? Yeah, the beard's already growing back in, man. Just shaved it and it's come back in. This time I'm going like down here. I'm talking like, what's his name? Gandalf or Dumbledore status. I'm going like Dumbledore status. I hope everybody had a good 4th, man. Did anybody do anything for the 4th? Did you guys eat something? What'd you guys eat? I had a bunch of food, dude. I almost went into a food coma. What looks so good? What looks so good? Home of YouTube edits and trends. You've been popping, dude. I think I saw a few of your videos just to show you some love. Let you know I was checking the channel out. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, I live in this cul-de-sac right here. I just moved from Tennessee, or from Chicago to Tennessee. But I live in this little cul-de-sac area. Don't mind the bugs on my window. But this family with the white car and in the driveway, they had fireworks. Some chicks over there with the orange car in their driveway, they had fireworks. White truck had fireworks. That house had fireworks. Dude, we had like literally a whole shindig right there in the cul-de-sac. Didn't even have to move. I was literally eating steak from my dining room window and just watching them go off. And then I went out and lit a few with them. It was pretty cool. And just knowing like this is the heaviest, man. 250 years. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be in this country, man. Shout out to home of the YouTube edits and trends, bro. You're a real one, man. A real sub. You've been joining these lives for a hot minute. I'll probably do a little shout out video for you. Not that I got followers like that, you know what I mean, but just when you shout out to like a top fan or some shit. Dang, you lit your first firework last night? Nice, dude. I remember when I lit my first firework. It was a bottle rocket. So I had my uncle had an empty Coke bottle. He was drinking Coca-Cola. So after he emptied out the Coke bottle, he put the bottle rocket inside and left the wick sticking out. So I held the bottle and then I held the lighter. And he was like, all you got to do is strike the lighter, and when the flame comes on, light the wick, and then it's going to fire, and just hold the bottle up in the air. And that's exactly what I did, and I watched it and kind of backed back because I'd seen them doing it, and I seen the that kind of initial jet that kind of shoots out. So I backed back, looked up, and just watched it shoot up and just blow up, and I was like, dude, obsessed. My fireworks were good. It lasted like 45 seconds. Nice. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'll go check it out. Show it some love, man. I wasn't in the, growing up, like, being an adult, like, time and where you got to do, what you got to do and responsibilities. You forget. 4th of July, it's popping. You got to get those fireworks ready. And so this year, thankfully, we had the opportunity of just attending one and being, part of one, which is pretty dope. Sorry, y'all, the wifey's calling me. Alright, never mind, she was texting me. Been doing a whole lot of contemplating, man, which actually translates into nothing. So I moved to Tennessee from Chicago. I had a job in Chicago. Unfortunately, was not able to transfer my position because they didn't have one available. But I do drive for Uber and Uber Eats. I drive people and I do delivery, like food. And I have a full-size SUV, pretty sharp, so I can do like third row seating. So I can make some pretty decent money driving people. Unfortunately, moving out to Tennessee, through Ubering, I had to go deliver some food on Fort Campbell, which is one of the local military bases here in Tennessee where I live. When I went through the visitor center to get a pass, they have to run your license, and then just verify, who you are, and then they'll let you back there. When he ran my license, he's like, "Do you know your license has been suspended?" And I'm like, "This is the first time I'm hearing this." I mean, give you a little a little reference for a little context. So a few years back, I had been pulled over with no insurance. Saw the judge. A stipulation of my court was to pay some fines, and then I had to pay SR 22 for 3 years, just back to back 3 years. That liability insurance. And anytime I didn't finish, if I missed a payment, they'd suspend my license and I'd have to start all the way over again. 3 years of paying it. So last year was my third and final year of paying it. I paid it off in full. They're like, "Congratulations, you're done with the whole SR 22 stipulation on your license. You don't have to worry about it being suspended for not paying for the SR 22." So I'm back to being a free man, driving. But when I get out here and I do that delivery, they scan my license and tell me it's been suspended. I finally called the Secretary of State back in Illinois, and they confirmed it, but they can't tell me why. So I got to get in further touch with some people and find out why it's suspended, because I need my license, because I need an Uber for now until I can find me a 9 to 5, That's another thing. Like, my experience is hella in warehouse. Like, distribution. I mean, like, you put me in a warehouse, I know every end of the warehouse, what to do, how to get loads off at the right time, making sure everything's on time, there's no late, everything. I'm a warehouse gremlin, dude. But my low back, I have arthritis. I can't work physically like that anymore. I can't physically bend over 100 times. You dipping home? I'll see you later, brother. Dipping off. Hope you have a good day. Being in the warehouse, like, nah, man, you the best. Working at a warehouse, like, over the years, it just messed up my back, and it kind of exacerbated this arthritis, and now I'm 35 with full-blown arthritis in my low back. So there goes all my warehouse experience, like, out the table, because they want me on the floor. They know what I can do. I'm not trying to, like, brag or anything or flex, but, like, I am in pretty good shape, so they know I'm able to not only get things done in the system form, but I can get there on the floor and help any of the guys out and just go do my thing and hit numbers. I can't do that anymore. I can't bend over. I can't lift. I can't do any of that. And it's like now I feel, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. I feel lost, dude. So, but it's not the end. I just gotta find another outlet, find another form of income to where I can preserve, where I can, find another form of income where I can preserve my physical well-being. That's all I got to do for right now. And then my hopes is to go back to school in about a year, get a degree, and then start working, like, in my career, like what I want to do, which is mental health, counseling. I want to see if I can start helping kids, younger the better, honestly. And then maybe work into, like, older group, outpatient practices for, like, older people. Maybe people with have, like, substance abuse issues, stuff like that. That's what I want to go to school for. Um, just want to help people, man. So, but it's been rough. It's been a rough ride, and I got some challenges up ahead if I still want to get there and do this and do what it is in life that I feel like I was made to do, which is just help other people. Specifically those who suffer from mental health issues and who've gone through dark times. Um, those who come from, like, broken homes. I have lived experience with that. So going to school, I'll have the formal education for that and go out and make a freaking difference in life. I know it sounds corny, man, but I just want to help people, especially the kids. Like, you guys are going to be in control. You guys are the future, you know what I mean? You guys are going to be running this country. And I want to make sure these kids, the youth, they have a good head on their shoulders. They're making the right decision even when no one's looking, holding themselves accountable, helping them, teaching them how to cope in a healthy way whenever they're faced with, emotional overload or stimuli that has negative connotation to it, or just help them cope and just let them know that there's a way to get through it without suffering and without, you know, forcing yourself to suffer and torturing yourself. There's help out there, you just gotta be willing to receive it and be receptive to it. I know it was one of my issues. I was very hard-headed, stubborn, and didn't want to. And then once it was bad enough, then I was like, yeah, I need help, and I got the help. And I knew right away, I was like, there's truth, there is help out there. This does work. Not everything that they show you, not everything that they teach you, and not everything that you hear is going to pertain to your exact life, line to line, moment to moment, but there's a lot to learn, for sure. There's a lot to learn in those mental health spaces. So pick apart what pertains to your life and then try to implement it, because not everything you hear is going to pertain to your life particularly. It's just going to be in general. So when something you hear strikes a chord or sounds familiar, and now all right, let me write this down. This might help me out in the future. This pertains to me, you know what I mean? And take that with you in life, and if you have kids or have family and you see them struggling, going through the same thing, teach them, show them the tools that you learned so that they suffer less and they can be more at a place where their mind is in a rational, because when you're anxious all day or when you're depressed, your mind's at a place where you can't rationally make decisions. If you're depressed and anxious all the time, you can't rationally you can't have conversations based off rationale. It's going to be based off emotion. You're emotional, you're really overstimulated. So if you can learn some tools and then pass those tools down to people who you see struggling, bro, it's just less suffering. The world suffers less, and we can all just help each other out. I don't know. Is that asking for too much? Like, yeah, I suffered and I know what to do. I know what I got to do. And hey, this formula might work for another set of people. Why not get certified to teach, people just how to implement those things in their life? See if it works. Una baya. Where's everybody at, man? Join the live. Can't you see how interesting this is? Look at my unfinished roof in my garage. Yo, we might do a Pokemon live. We might do a Pokemon card live. My stepson, he just got a bunch of like Pokemon cards that are worth like $100. So he's like, hey man, can we go live and see if anybody wants to buy them? I'm like, I guess. I don't know how that works though. I don't know if people would trust me or trust us to send them the Pokemon card. I think YouTube might have something like that, right? Where you could purchase something, or or go through Shopify, something like that, so that there's paperwork. They show they paid for something, so you gotta get it. I don't want anyone getting scammed or anything, but he definitely has a few Pokemon cards that are worth anywhere from $100 to like $200. Got about a handful, so not too many, but shouldn't be vaping on live. Oh, my bad. Guys, I'm gonna put some makeup on. I think that's what you guys wanted, right? So just go fucking radioactive on that ass. Or just dance party. We can keep it chill. We can keep it, or we can go horror TV. And then she opened the window, stuck her head out, and turned to her left. And noticed the giant man with his balls exposed on her forehead. No, I'm kidding. X-ray. Cap, you don't see my bones. It's not X-ray. It's just, what do you call that? Where they do the negative thing? Blue retro? Okay. Infrared. Thermal. Bullshit, because I'd be lit up right now. How is that all red? Bullshit. I call bullshit. I do like this X-ray though. It looks pretty cool. Even though you can't see my bones. Where are the bones? X-ray. I don't see any bones. You can see into my nostril. What up, people? Call man. Tuning in, everybody tuning in. Hello, my friend. Where y'all from? Everybody put in the comments real quick. Put in the comments where you guys are from. Where's everybody from? Drop it in the comments. Where are you from, my friend? I am in the United States, in case anyone wants to know. Just moved from the Chicago area, Chicago, Illinois, to Clarksville, Tennessee. Beautiful Clarksville, Tennessee. Let me tell you, man, it is nice out here. It is really nice out here. Humid. It's been hot and humid these last couple days, but other than that, it's beautiful, man. Quiet. Everyone's so caring. I mean, like, dude, everyone's letting me, like, no one fights when the lane merges. Everyone lets people over and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. It's a whole different kind of community out here. Everyone's not mad about paying fucking shit ton of taxes. There's no federal state tax here. Just or there's no state income tax. Just federal income tax. Generally, state tax might be higher because of that. It's still out. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket compared to Chicago, man. Property taxes paid just under 10 grand in property taxes last year. Out here, paid just under 2 grand. Dude, you're saving so much money. I mean, you can have a chicken coop in your backyard. You can, as a father, I can provide more ways than one out here, not just financially, but I can feed my family, so to speak. Have a little chicken coop, about 8 or 9 chickens running around, free range, eating clean. I know grains. They say grains isn't such a great diet, but it's also depending on the source of the grain. Most conventional or big industrial chicken companies, they don't really spruce out for the good quality grain for their chickens. But seeing as that we're saving so much money out here, I don't see why not. Make sure my chickens are organic, free range, and have some chicken eggs, man, every morning, some fresh eggs. Go out and during the fall, maybe take out a couple buck. It's a lot of meat, man. That's 600. Let's say 600 pounds of red meat. People say red meat's not good for you. I disagree, man. Red meat has all the amino acids the body needs. Amino acids, all of them. All 8 or 9 essential amino acids in the red meat. I think the scare with red meat is how much you cook it. If you char it or if you really, really burn it, the red meat, I think that's when the arsenigens release and the cancer causing bullshit. I eat my steak medium well, so I'm good. But I eat a lot of red meat, and honestly, that and the yolk from the chicken eggs, those omega-3s are really good. Out here in Clarksville, they don't really have fish that are high in omega-3s. They got some that have a decent amount, but nothing like salmon, So that's unfortunate. But I can supplement that through, grocery shopping. Buying the salmon through grocery shopping. I'm ready to go fishing, man. My buddy, before I left, he got me this little setup. And she's not the most prettiest girl in the bar, but she might not be the prettiest girl in the bar, but you're taking home something. It's Bass Pro. I don't know if they're overrated, underrated. I'm new to the fishing game. All I know is that this bad boy right here is pretty sharp, and it's zip locked to the line, so I'm guessing it wasn't made for that. But oh well, we'll make do. We shall make do with what we have. So yeah, definitely excited about going fishing, man. Trying out the rod, getting out there. What's everybody else got going on, man? What are everyone else's plans? So we had a few people in here. Did you guys disappear? Rey Mysterio. Disappear. Is it the Sox gear? Are you mad? Is it the Sox gear? Is it the Sox gear? I mean, I'm not rubbing it in anyone's face or anything. Just a, Chicago boy. Proud of my team. Yeah, I might not want to walk around Clarksville wearing this shit, but well, I don't know how serious Tennesseans are about baseball. We'll see. Maybe not. I just had a realization the other day that it might come down to the White Sox and the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs, man. Wouldn't that be something? Hello, my friend. What are you doing? Hello. Welcome. It says X-ray, but you can't see my bones for some reason. The X-ray's broken. I called the tech guy. He's on his way. He's gonna fix the X-ray. For now, it just looks like this. I don't know what's going on. And they're gone. Yo, someone help me. Whoa. Resume. Ooh, X-ray. But can I ask a question or something? Oh, it just asked me if I wanted to do it. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. There we go. How? No. Who's... There we go. Who is your hometown MLB team? Because if you couldn't tell... Anybody? Hey, how's it going? Who is your hometown MLB team? Who's your hometown MLB? You don't need to run away, man. It's just a question. Maracani! I love this jersey, dude. I love this jersey more than all of you. You little. You little. You little. You fucking. Fucking little motherfuckers. Hit him with the one time. Hit him with the one time. That's what it would sound like.